in some ways it's Dortmund's fault. You had the opportunities. You've got to be clinical. You're in a Champions League final. I know they didn't have a brilliant domestic season, but they've proved in the Champions League what they're capable of. I actually saw them launch it properly when they beat Newcastle at St James's Park. We thought, you can't lose to this lot. They're nothing. They got 1-0 win. I think we hit the bar from what I remember from the game, and there was nothing between the sides, to be honest. And then, amazingly, they're in the Champions League final.
Do you feel you should have got out of that group?
Oh yeah,
particularly with the foul against Liverpool.
Getting off to the start like they did against Paris Saint-Germain. Beating when they beat Paris Saint-Germain, and then. I don't know. I could never have expected that Dortmund would have got to the final. They were making the point on radio and TV last night how much they're a collective rather than individuals. And as a team, as a unit, they've performed brilliantly in the Champions League.
Do you know, I was looking at Mats Hummels and I was thinking, how on earth is he not in Germany's Euro squad? Yeah, particularly in the first half. I just thought he was...
thing, do you think you just get pensioned off?
Yeah, but I mean, when he's delivering like that, I thought he was absolutely outstanding, particularly in the first half. And I think for the last few minutes, he went up front. But there was so much sympathy for Dortmund going into this game. But do you think that they lost any of that with the announcement that they were going to be sponsored by an arms manufacturer?
Well, just because Gary Lineker said that
no,
they should lose
because
sympathy for it. Not from, I don't think, football fans say, if you like, in this country. I don't think it really resonates.
Well, Dortmund's fans said they didn't want weapons washing or whatever they called it with their banners. Well, I think
it didn't stop them supporting the side.
No,
though.
Of course.
I mean, the yellow wall was its usual self.
They were brilliant, weren't they? I mean, they were fantastic.
I mean, they're amazing fans. It's an amazing ground to go to. It's an amazing following for a team that in Europe are not the absolute elite.
No, I mean,
sensational.
97, that Paul Lambert team, that was good. They obviously went there in 2013, and they were the club. Dortmund were tweeting beforehand. We worked, we returned to Wembley. We're looking for redemption, but they just didn't take their chances. So frustrating.
And actually, Füllkrug a little unlucky for one, offside for another. A late developer as a striker who maybe the Euros will be his thing this summer, because he does look the real deal.
Yeah, he works hard. I mean, you could almost see him as an old school English forward, the way he was putting himself around. It's like the striker you would love at Newcastle United, because his running was outstanding. What do you think of Sancho?
Well, I didn't think he was anything special last night.
He had a couple of early runs, but
the jury, I still think, is out a little bit on his season there. They say it's been mixed, to be honest, and I think we're slightly blinded by the fact he got to the Champions League final, and there's a perception that, he's been amazing in Germany, Eric should have him back and put him in the team. But I'm not sure it's quite as clear-cut as that.
No, it was probably a better evening for Ten Hag than
You think
Sancho.
he'd actually been rubbing his hands about that, though, genuinely?
So.
I don't think he's that sort of bloke,
I don't think he's that type. If anything, they want a player who is regaining confidence, regaining value, then they can sell him for more. It would just be nice if, I think particularly on Sancho's side, if there was a little bit of contrition and he apologised and addressed things with Ten Hag. But Sancho, from
if
whatever,
Ten Hag's still here.
Exactly. You see, that is absolutely the key thing. He might look at who's going to come in next.
But do you think, say Ten Hag went and Sancho comes back, do you think he should be welcomed back with open arms? Do you not think he should have to say something, even if Ten Hag's not the manager, and say, right, let's put it all behind us and start again?
Look, they've got a good media team there, and they would set up a picture, they would set up an interview with MUTV, they would have a handshake, there would be some show of contrition, whether on social media or a short statement from Sancho. But it doesn't strike me that Sancho is actually in the mood to feel that he's actually done anything wrong, whereas there were clearly one or two issues with timekeeping, discipline, and then that tweet. And it's not simply about his relationship with Ten Hag, it's also about Sancho's relationship with one or two players. I think probably the majority of them like him because he's a likeable character and a good player. But do they actually need him?
I was about to say, where does he fit anyway? I mean, it's not the most amazing team at Man United, but I'm still not sure how he fits into it.
I mean, they can play Amad Diallo on that side. Garnacho can play on that side if you're playing Rashford on the left. But there are doubts about Rashford's form and his future. But I mean, Jadon Sancho, a fit, firing, happy Jadon Sancho, is a force, is a starting player.
You wouldn't have had him at the Euros, though, would you?
No, because England have got so many other options there, and I like whittling down my England squad to about 55. I would struggle to.
I wonder if he was in the original big squad.
Well, if you're looking right-sided players, you've got Bowen in there. You've got obviously Palmer,
He's not in Bowen's
Saka.
class at the moment, I don't think.
No, well, I don't think so at all. And Bowen can also play through the middle, and there's no baggage with Bowen as well. I mean, he's just such a likeable character, which is another reason why the FA and England like him. But I do remember Rome, the Olympic Stadium against Ukraine. Sancho was outstanding. I mean, at one point, there's a famous picture from that game. This is in the Euros, where there were 4 Ukrainians trying to get close to him, and he just dribbled through them. I mean, there is a player in there, but he needs to sort his approach out.
Just quickly before we move on, we lost two great players to their clubs last night in Royce of Dortmund and Cruz of Real Madrid. Royce's departure probably got a bit overshadowed because Cruz was the winner and he's maybe the slightly bigger name, but two giants really of European football, aren't they?
It was Royce on one side and Rolls-Royce on the other side.
You've been waiting for that.
So, no, not really. I just thought of it. No, it's Toni Kroos, 6 Champions League / European Cups. I mean, he moves on a par with Paco Gento, the great Real Madrid attacker from the
didn't see
from
Paco
the 50s.
Play myself. I'm not sure you did either.
No, close actually. No, but you've only got to look at very.
This is like when you say Duncan Edwards. He was obviously one of the greatest players, and you never saw him either.
Well, you see everything in black and white, but if you look at the black and white footage of Paco Gento in the 50s in that great Di Stefano team, but just on simple numerical level, the fact that he has done 6 Champions Leagues and I mean, you listen to the players at Real Madrid when they're interviewed and Ancelotti, and they talk about his humility and his work ethic. And remember, he had one of his worst moments as a footballer at Wembley when he actually retired internationally when England beat Germany at Euro 2020 at Wembley. And England fans have got a rather cruel chant about him. And then obviously he came back. He's now, I think, on 109 international caps. I think he goes down as one of the greats. For the numbers alone, you look at 717, 18 club games, another 100 odds internationally. He's in the top 7 Champions League, European Cup appearance makers. He's in the top, I think, 5 or 6 German international appearance makers. You remember that pass that he played to Vinicius Junior. I just thought his dead ball work was particularly outstanding yesterday. A couple of free kicks where he went close with. I just think he's just an absolutely special player. And if you've watched that documentary, that Netflixy type sort of hour-long documentary he did, you understand him even more. Huge family man, huge team man, and a great football man. And, well, he'll be looking for a further swan song this summer.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.